Okay, day 3. Here it is. Powerhouse wrestling workout number 3. First of all, today might be your toughest workout. I say that because there's going to be some yoga involved. I know. Yoga. Believe it or not, yoga is a great way to learn how to breathe correctly. And of course, work on your flexibility. It has a couple other good things that will help you out, especially you younger kids that aren't into lifting weights yet, nor should you be, unless you're doing your own body weight. If there was a couple things that I could do during regular practices that I can't, one would be more footwork. There's a lot of footwork that we can do. I don't know if we can do it in our basements, but we will definitely get that in the few coming days, weeks, etc. I don't know how long we're going to be here, but we'll get that going. But more footwork, that helps you both in your offense and your counter offense. I don't like the word defense because, as Dan Gable says, we shoot, we score, they shoot, we score. So it's more of a counter offense rather than just defense. And yoga. I would actually do a lot more yoga type stuff. As I mentioned above, breathing's important, and it's an underrated skill, and it's as important as your techniques, because there's no way you can do the technique if your muscles won't do it because of lack of oxygen. Another thing yoga teaches you is to only use the muscles that you need to use. Some of you wrestlers out there are really tense. You can't be tense. That means you're using every single muscle, every single second of every single match. It's just going to wear you out. Only use the muscles that you need to use. There should be some type of, relaxed explosions going on. Obviously, flexibility. Yoga is known for its flexibility, and I emphasize flexibility. It helps prevent injuries. It also helps you get out of tough predicaments. You can see the toughest wrestlers in the world and their flexibility and how important that is. And then finally, at the end of most yoga sessions, there's a bit of quiet time. And you use this time to visualize yourself, visualize your goals, visualize yourself on the podium, visualize yourself winning a high-level tournament, visualize yourself, maybe for some of you younger wrestlers, winning your first tournament. I know between the ages of 5 and 10, I didn't win a tournament. So there was 5 years of constant, nonstop losing. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. As a matter of fact, I think I was 9 and I finally got to the finals of a tournament. So that being said, at the end of each session, when there's a little quiet time and reflection time, and for some of you, this is going to be tough because flexibility is super, super tough for you. That being said, let's move on to the workout portion of it. This workout portion, pretty important as far as terre, and freestyle and Greco. Okay, terre for me is important even in folk style. You need 2 things in folk style to get out from bottom. You need position and you need hand control. There's 2 things in freestyle and Greco you need to get off bottom. You need position and you need hand control. So that position portion of it is so important. The hand control portion of it is very important as well. In freestyle and Greco, the hand portion, fighting hands, it's just not as there are more micro moves than there are macro moves, and as long as you move and you control his hands with your body and not necessarily your hands, control his hands with your body, then you can get out from bottom in 10 to 15 seconds because the referees will call you back up on your feet. So that being said, let's go to our parterre stuff. First, we're going to go over heavy body, then position, then motion, then forward, backward, left, and right is motion. Hand fighting, which includes the heavy body, the position, and the motion. And then your leg lace defense and your gut wrench defense. There are 5 lines of leg lace defenses. There's basically 2 ways of gut wrench defense. And not prevention, but defense. So, that being said, let's get into our heavy body. All right. First of all, heavy body. You want your shoulders to roll forward. Roll forward like this. And once you roll your shoulders forward, you take your feet, should be wide, and you roll your shoulders. Now, position-wise, if you think about position, your hands should be at 10 and 2. Your feet should be at 4 and 8. Okay? Your fingers, there's 2 trains of thought with your fingers. Your fingers can either be like this, and you post on the heel of your palm with your fingers in, or you're out here like this. Bobby Douglas says this. A lot of other high-level coaches say this. Bobby Douglas had his fingers rolled up. A couple of you have had your fingers rolled up when you're like this. I don't care. Whatever's comfortable for you. Okay? I've done both, so either one. Now, shoulders forward, butt up, 10 and 2, 8, 4, and you're digging your shoulders in like this. Notice my butt's up in the air. I'm digging my toes in. All my weight is going onto my shoulders. Okay? My face is turned sideways so that it's not up here like this. I'm bringing my shoulders up. They're as flat to the mat as possible. Be part of the mat. Okay? Chest. Now, I'm doing the same thing, only my head's coming up a little bit. Now, all the weight is into my chest. Now, this is where the yoga portion of it comes in. You're only going to tighten up this part of your body. When your shoulders are down, you're tightening up your upper arms and your shoulders and part of your chest. When your chest, you're only tightening up your chest muscles, your shoulders a bit, okay? But everything's tight when he's trying to lift you. He's going to be trying to lift your shoulders first, then he's going to go to your chest, then stomach, then hips. All right, so we're going to go down the body. So shoulders, chest, stomach, hips. So again, here I am. Notice 10 and 2. Turn your head, butt up, drive your shoulders forward. Now, there. Now my chest, I got the same thing, but only all my weight's going into my chest. If you want stomach, now pushing our stomach forward, pushing our toes forward, and our hands back. And then we tighten our stomach up. So everything in this area is tight, 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 tight. Okay? So make sure everything is tight. And then finally, you're going to be like a skydiver with your hips. You tighten your butt muscles. You tighten everything up, and you're like this. A lot of Greco, they'll try and lift your hips. So you've got to be tough right here in this position. Okay? So that's your heavy body. Shoulder, chest, stomach, hips. Now, if you want to practice it, shoulder, chest, stomach, hips. Hips, stomach, push, push, chest, butt up, shoulders. Okay, your head can turn either way depending on your flexibility, whether you're right-footed, left-footed, whatever type of wrestler. Doesn't matter. Okay? Then, if you have a partner, like a sibling, have them try and lift your shoulders without heavy body, with heavy body. Have them try and lift you at the chest. Now, on your shoulders, you're going to reach over top. Reach over top of the shoulders. On your chest, reach at the chest. On your stomach and hips. Now, some of you are going to think that you're ticklish. Have you ever been ticklish in a match? No. So your intensity is super important. Your focus is super important on your tickle spots. So if somebody's grabbing your stomach in a match, you're not going to be ticklish. Don't be ticklish here. Same thing with your hips. Okay, they're going to lift right at the hips. You can't be ticklish. All right, so shoulders, chest, stomach, hips. Okay, and then if you have a partner, if you have a sibling that lives with you, have them go shoulders, stomach, hips, chest, shoulders, and try and lift you. You react. Okay, that's super important. So we got heavy body, we've got position, now motion. Motion. We only move as far as our toes will push us. Short, choppy. See how my toes are pointing and my arms only go far back as my toes will take us. That way I'm ready to move forward or back. There's never any of this. This is bad. Okay? As soon as you get past this, now you're at 9 and 3. 9 and 3 is bad. 10 and 2 is good. Try and stay right at 10 and 2 as much as possible. Now, here's the hard part. Moving sideways. When we move sideways, our hands go over a little bit. We do a push-up here. Notice how I'm doing a push-up like that. And I push up, and my inside hip goes up. Okay? My shoulders stay square with the mat, and my hips move over. Forward, back, left, right. Okay, notice my chest is up a little bit. Hands still at 10 and 2, feet still at 8 and 4. Okay, super important. Okay, questions on the motion, and you're going to do that. The hand fighting in freestyle and Greco. Heavy body is super important. You cannot fight hands with your hands below the armpits and to the waist. Okay? Anywhere between the armpit and the waist, you can't fight hands with your hands. That's where your heavy body, that's where your motion comes in. Okay? Now, make sure that when you're heavy bodying and moving, now you can use your head and arm to fight hands. If those hands are coming over, I understand, I always say I want heavy body. Now, if you feel that hand coming over, boom. Now you can take your head to your arm to keep him from coming in right here. Maybe comes the other side. Now if he tries coming underneath the armpit, yes, you can be here you could do that a little bit, but you can't be here a lot. You take that hand, move it out, and then you move. Take the hand, move it out, and then you're right back here. Okay? The ref will say open blue, or red, whichever color you are. All right? That's part of hand control, is right in here. A lot of times they'll come up and they'll try and grab your hand and pull it in. Well, just like in folk style, if he grabs your hand and starts pulling it in, you can grab your own hand to keep him from pulling it in. Now once he lets go, then you're right back to the reset position, which is always shoulders. Reset position is always shoulders. Okay? So heavy body, position, motion, hand fighting. Hand fight with your body. Okay, if he's trying to get underneath, move away. That's the motion. That's hand fighting with your bottom. Leg lace defense. 5 lines of defense. First is knee up, push back. Second, butt up, knees wide. Third, kick over. Line 4 is the mule kick, and then finally roll faster than he does. Okay, so line 1, first line of defense. If his head is on the left, your right knee comes up and you push back. Notice how low I am. There should be no space between your body and
your thigh. No space. Now you're fighting hands here. Fighting hands here. Now you're going back down. Notice I did not go forward. Okay? First line here, push back. And you can do this to build a base in folk style, by the way. So right here, hand fighting. Now when you go back down, you can't go forward because now you're open for a gut wrench. So you go back down and you almost like rewind. Play, rewind. Okay? Second line of defense. If he gets them locked up or start to get your legs locked up, right here, get your knees wide. Okay? That's one reason why we get knees wide. You roll better with your knees together. So you want to get your knees wide. That's why we start out with our feet at 8 and 4. Okay? So he gets our feet together, you push up, knees wide. Are you open for a gut wrench? Yes. Are you going to get tech falled from a leg lace? No. We'll get to gut wrench defense next. Third line of defense. Okay? The third line of defense is a kick over. All right? Now, when you kick over, let's say his head's on the right. He's taking your left leg over top. As that left leg goes over top, you're going to fight it, fight it, fight it, fight it, and give it to him hard. Boom. Notice how I did not turn my chest. My chest stays. That's where flexibility comes in. And the hip, especially. The hips, the upper body, the torso. So I give him the leg, and then my bottom leg comes up. Boom. I'm right back into line 1 defense. So again, if his head's over here, he'll normally take this leg over. Take it over, take it over. It's right before it gets locked up, give it to him. Bring your knee up, stay low, keep your hands wide, hand fight here, hand fight. And then when his shoulder comes over your butt, when it comes past your waist, is when you can go back down. Don't go back down just because you come here and come here. If his shoulder's below you, you can't go back down. You've got to stay in that position. You go back here once his shoulder gets above your waist. Okay? All right, that's line 3. Line 4 is mule kick. In other words, if he gets you here and gets it locked up, offensively speaking, he wants to keep your hips flat so he can roll you this way. So defensively speaking, we want our hips up. And the kicking isn't necessarily in your feet. The kicking is in your buttocks. Okay, you want your butt to hit his head area as many times as possible. And basically, pun coming, knock the crap out of him with your butt. Okay? Just knock his head. He will not like it. So once you start kicking, if you kick him if your butt hits his head a few times really hard, he'll let go. And then you got to go back down to your regular defensive position. Okay? 5. Let's say he's got it locked up. He's got this locked up and you're fighting it and you don't want to get turned. If the left leg's on top, you're going to be turning to the right. So pay attention to your right foot. So now, if you know you're going to go, fight it, fight it, fight it, and then give it to him. Give up the 1, but as you turn, try and pull the bottom leg. In other words, if you're going to the right leg comes out, and you roll into line 1 defense. Then, of course, you don't go back down until his shoulder comes above your hip, and you go back down. Again, if his head's over here, and he's got your hips planted, you can't get up, and he's taking it, and you're thinking, uh-oh, he's got it. Fight it hard, fight it hard. All right? And if you know you're going to go, then you turn with it as fast as you can, Bring your knee up. Try and unroll it. If you look at my feet, try and unlace it. And then, boom, you're back into your line one defense. Okay? I guess there's 6 levels now that I think about it. 6th is if you get turned a couple times, turn into the way he's turning you. Try and push his hip. Try and grab an ankle. Try and push his head away. Try and push his body so that he can't turn. If he can't roll through, you're not going to roll through. Pushing right here, that would be the last resort. All right? Or maybe that's actually 5, now I think about it. And I'll put that on my notes. Part 5 is pushing, pushing. And line 6 is rolling with. Boom. Bring it up and around. Okay? Now, here's the workout for the day. Oh, I forgot. Gut wrench defense. Gut wrench defense. If he gets a gut wrench locked up, you heavy body on his lock and you move it. You move it down. Move it down. Get it off of the bones. In other words, if he's on your ribs, roll it down to your fat zone. If he's on your hips, you go backwards to get it up into your fat zone. Bones, you can turn. He will turn you when it's on your bones. Okay, bones are rigid. Now, obviously, here's the fat zone. You can see it on me a lot better than you guys. But here's the fat zone. The fat zone, that means you've got muscle. Muscles will bend. Muscles will move. You got your internal organs. They'll bend and move. You got your skeleton. The bones, they don't move. Okay? That's first line of defense. Move it to the fat zone. Move it over. Don't let him lock. Or heavy body on his lock and roll it out. So if he has me locked here, I'm going to heavy body on my chest and roll it out. Now notice when I roll it out, I'm coming up, up, and up. Because his lock is still here, my body's moving forward. So I got to change my heavy body from my chest to my upper stomach, to my stomach, and to my hips. Now, do I want him on my hips? Well, hopefully, I have rolled that lock all the way down until he can't lock anymore. Okay? So again, if his lock is here, heavy body there, roll, 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 short, little movements. Okay? So now, after all of that defense, parterre defense, now I want you to do 5 1-minute goes. Okay? This is shadow wrestling. You've shadow wrestled on your feet before. You shadow wrestle, you take shots, you sprawl, you fake, then shoot. You go outside singles, double legs, high crotches. You might even pretend you're pummeling, etc. Now, when that happens, you do the same thing here. Okay? Move forward, backward, right, left, knee up, push back, hand fight. Uh-oh, he's got this leg, it's taken over. I'm giving it to him. Back up here. Then I come back down. Now he's trying to come over top. I'm fighting hands over here, moving. Okay? Uh-oh, he's got it locked up. Butt up, knees wide. Do every defense that we did. Do every motion that we did. Heavy body, heavy body, heavy body. Constant motion. Remember, when you're going down, if he takes you down or you're down, going out of bounds, whatever it is, you have to heavy body, and your shoulders are always the reset position. Finally, do 5 1-minute goes. That'll get you nice and loosened up. All of these things will get you nice and loosened up for your yoga session. Okay? This is super important, guys. I can't emphasize enough how important flexibility is. This will help you out strength-wise a bit for your own body weight.
For those of you who are really strong but not very flexible, this is going to be one of the worst sessions ever. Being a person that's not very flexible, I hate it. I really do. But I do understand how important it is for you guys. All right, and especially at your guys' age, right now, before your ligaments and tendons are all tightened up and your muscles are all tightened up, and it might be a little bit late for old guys to be able to get more flexible with the ligaments and the tendons with your muscles. Okay, so the muscles go into the tendons and then the tendons hook onto the bones. All right, that's super important for you guys to be able to be super flexible in that situation. Okay, in lots of situations. Anyway, have a great workout. We will talk to you tomorrow in session 4.